On to stage 2 of the UAE Tour Women, the longest stage of the race, 133 kilometres from Al Dhafra Castle to Al Mirfa. Another very flat affair, 2 intermediate sprints along the way, and lots of desert. And importantly, lots of wind as well. A pan-flat course. Madinat Zayed and Hashban Camp, the 2 intermediate sprints. Then the wind blowing off the Arabian Gulf into the heads of the riders for the vast majority of the day, save for the opening few kilometres when there were crashes and crosswinds aplenty. Well, the race was split in the opening 10 or 15 kilometres when an elite group of riders managed to go clear and quickly opened up a big gap of around a minute, while the peloton fell further back at nearly 4 minutes. The pressure was applied on the front by Elisa Longo Borghini, really riding hard, making sure that she stayed into the front. Also in the mix as well was the race leader Charlotte Kohl, and the European champion in the mix too, Lorena Wiebes. The sole representation from Canyon SRAM in the mix as well was Agnieszka Skaniak-Sojka. With 67 k's to go, they built up a lead over the chasing group of just over a minute, but shortly the race was to turn into a headwind. Meanwhile, the bunch were languishing at well over 5 minutes. Heading towards the first intermediate sprint of the day, with the bonus seconds up for grabs, it was Marta Bastianelli who took maximum points and a 3-second time bonus ahead of Skaniak-Sojka, Borghini and Koch. At this point, as you can see, the bunch were 5 minutes and 14 down, but group number 2 on the road was about to make contact with the front of the race as they swung left, heading towards the coast and Al Mirfa into a block headwind. The subsequent slowing down of the pace eventually opened the door, incredibly, for the peloton behind to start reeling in the front group, led by the massed ranks of FDJ Suez and also Israel Premier Tech. FDJ Suez had no representation in the front group at this point. The gap yo-yoed for a while, but eventually, despite the best efforts of the group out in front, the junction was closed. The headwind taking its toll. There's also a tango in the desert. Thankfully, everybody stayed upright and everybody was fueled. And with around 20 k's to go, the junction was made and the bunch was all back together. The bunch together, heading towards the finish, it was Tiffany Cromwell, one of the main protagonists at the front for Canyon SRAM, trying to keep things together, moving the race over to the right-hand side of the road. And again, the crosswinds came into play, splitting the field once more, and many of the riders who had just got back on were detached again. It was a stressful, difficult, challenging day, and this, of course, the first ever World Tour race in this part of the world. 7 k's to go, and there was an unfortunate puncher for Movistar's Emma Norsgaard. She was not to see the front again. And with 1,400 metres to go, just before the final right-hander, it was Team DSM who led things out. Pfeiffer Georgie, the former British champion, leading into the final bend with Charlotte Kohl on her wheel. But then opening up the afterburners once more and opening up an immediate gap was the European champion Lorena Wiebes of SD Works, taking her first win of the race ahead of Kohl and just in front of Pfeiffer Georgie, meaning that she would move into the lead of this race. There's the overhead again. Just look at the sheer explosivity. An emphatic victory for the European champion. She takes her first win for her new team. And just look at what that means to her. She's back. So the stage results confirmed as Lorena Wiebes taking the win ahead of Charlotte Kohl, Pfeiffer Georgie in third. Then we have Locke, Consoni, Desert, Baker, Longo Borghini, Fournier and Sarah Roy, rounding out your top 10. And that 10-second time bonus moved Lorena Wiebes into the red leader's jersey, and she'll wear that into the next stage. There she is, top of the rankings ahead of Charlotte Kohl, Chiara Consoni in third. Then we have Lippert, Bastianelli, Longo Borghini, Persico, Roy, Desert and Roxane Fournier at 16 seconds as we head into the queen stage of this race, stage 3, from Hazza bin Zayed Stadium to the mighty Jebel Hafid.